Hello, hello. It has been probably 4 years since I should have finished recording this, so I apologize. I was working on something yesterday and I saw that this still hadn't been done, and I thought I should really finish that off. So it is day 8 and 9 in my France album. This is from 2017, and I'm actually currently working on a France 2021 album right now, which is why I thought this needed to get finished. So it looks like I am working on the back half of the start of day 8, and if I remember correctly, I started day 8 recording, and for some reason it didn't record properly. So that is why you just saw me working on that very back spot. I will definitely have photos at the end of this though, and you can look at it. So on day 8, we left the hotel that we had stayed at in the Loire Valley, Chateau des Arpentis. It was lovely, and if you are looking for a great, cute little chateau-y manor house type hotel, I highly recommend it. We then moved on to Chateau de Chenonceau, which was one of my absolute favorite chateaus that we visited. And it was probably a 10-15 minute drive south of where we had been staying. So it was super close to us. It was also in October, and so the fallness was absolutely gorgeous. Very different than a fall that I get here in southern Alberta, where we still get some color, but we don't get the beautiful colors like this. So it looks like I've got all my photos set out, and now I'm just working on putting down some letters so that that's sort of what your focal point is. I have the word Chenonceau, which is the name of the chateau there, and I really picked up the colors from this photo of the floor that you can see. So that was in one of the halls of the chateau that actually goes out directly over the water. One of the biggest features of this chateau, and that is one of the reasons that I had wanted to go here. So I'm just doing a little bit of journaling, and it says, Chenonceau was easily my second favorite chateau we visited these 2 days. I love the fact that the gallery went out over the waterway. It's a very stunning and majestic chateau. I was so glad we took the time to visit. When you're in the Loire Valley, like we decided to stay in Amboise, which was sort of right in the middle of it. And then you sort of have to decide, we found, like, do I go east or do I go west? And we had decided to go west. And so when we did that, we knew we could probably only fit in 3 or maybe 4 chateaus. And so we did. The first day, day 7, we fit in 3, and then I decided, no, I had to see this one, so we fit that in for the next morning before we headed back to Paris area and drove to Versailles. So what else am I doing? Yeah, like I said, I had sort of gone with a black and white theme here, just based on the colors. And I am lettering Traveling Leaves You Breathless, so I just do a quick pencil outline first, so I know where I want my what's the word, where I want it centered. And I have to say, I actually think nope, I did not redo that. No, I thought I had maybe redone that, but I didn't. So yeah, I can't even remember what exactly I used, but I have, it's more like a calligraphy type brush pen. That's the word I want. It's a brush pen that I used there. And then just putting on some little extras. I love those doilies. They're one of my favorites. And if you watch this from the beginning, you know that I pretty much use it throughout the whole book. And actually, as I'm watching this, I think I need to incorporate a couple of those into my new album that I'm working on. I'm just doing a roller stamp there, and I'm just seeing, what did I do? It says Happy Heart on it. And then, yeah, just trying to get everything into those page protectors. So I went with a 9x12 album for this. I'm so glad I did. And it is, but the only issue is that I ran out of page protector, so I had to cut a bunch of my 12x12s down. And then when you do that, I also had to get out my other tool thing there and then heat it up so that I can't remember what that thing is. I used it the other day, but, and then just cut it right down. So there we go. And then of course the other side, and it's always seems those two in the middle have such a hard time getting anything to that right size. I always have to cut stuff down on those, it seems. So just finishing up, putting those in the pocket there. And then I decided to do a little tiny flip up pocket. And actually, as I'm looking at my album now, I'm going to have to redo it because it's come right off. So it's just the visitor guide inside of a 6x8. And then I'm just adding this little pocket with our ticket in there. And I'm adding some sequins. So I'm going to use my little tool again and put that on. So you always want to make sure that you have something between the two sheets, or I would have heated that up on there. But like I said, I'm going to have to actually redo that one as it is not staying on right now. And I think that is really important to note, is that I have definitely had trouble with that tool, and it sort of has just been one of those things where they tend to not stay. So sometimes I do have to go through with some red line tape, or sometimes I even have to go through and redo it, or just put some washi at the top. So moving on, we decided to go to Versailles for that next day. So this is, what are we on, day 8? I think this is still day 8. So we actually we drove up there from the Loire Valley. It was about a 2.5-3 hour drive. And for that one, we actually got on the autoroute, which was way quicker than our drive down to the Loire Valley, where we decided to take the scenic route, which I have to say was just gorgeous, and I'm glad we did that. My husband and I do enjoy driving quite a bit, and so for us, it wasn't an issue at all. I mean, we are in southern Alberta, and our families my family lives about 3 hours away, so that's a fairly normal drive for us. I had found this gorgeous gold 12 by 12 paper, and as you can see, I've used up some of it, and as you can see, I had a little teeny bit left there. So all I had done was I took a map, cut it to 9 by 12, and then needed to back it. And I went with yellow because in Versailles there is a lot of gold. Sorry, I went with gold, not yellow. I went with gold because in Versailles there's a lot of gold. And so I thought that would just sort of be a fun way to compare that. And then I added these alphas on, and they are the ones that I use for Chenonceau. And I think, if I remember correctly, I tried to use those throughout the album as well. And I'm just doing up a little 6x8 just regarding our road trip stuff. And those actually were ones that I had, digitals that I had printed that say road trip, and then it's a map behind it. So just again, there's those doilies. I do love those doilies and labels. Those are still some of my favorite things to work with as embellishments. And then I've got that great photo of the gorgeous countryside with all the leaves starting to go into that gorgeous yellow and orange color. And then I stuck on the drive alphas, which is fun because they are actually a map. And then on the back side, just a couple photos of the start of the gardens at Versailles. So the first day that we were there, we did the garden.